So, score one for Laura. Apparently he talked to them, to the landlord, and he says he's changing. The landlord's changing his tune, but he's going to meet with them again. And I said to him, like, well, what about? He's like, well, I'm sure that's what what about the, to talk to him about, the end of June thing. And he's like, yeah, I think that's what he's leaning towards. I said, there's no negotiation. That's what my legal right is. I said, even if you were a jerk and moved out at the end of this month, your landlord would have to evict me because I can't pay $1,600, obviously. And then my roommate said, well, that's what might happen. No, he said that's what might happen. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I might find a place and I'm like, well, I can't pay this rent here. He's like, oh no, I would still pay the rent. And I'm like, yeah, how are you going to do that? You're going to pay rent here and pay first and last on a new apartment. And then he might move in with his girlfriend, which is a better idea, and then find a place at your leisure. And then he said, well, I might move in there permanently. I'm like, oh, is it that serious? Yeah, well, he's knew her a long time. He had it beforehand, so more power to him, He says, and he can have Matt. He can have bones, I don't know. It all depresses me because I, as you know, I liked it here. I liked him. I had planned to stay a long time. I was going to look into going into Section 8, but nobody gets Section 8 instantly. It can take years, and I know it would take at least a year, especially when I have an Omar, This is my 15 vegetable or organic vegetable soup base. That's green because it had tons of kale and Swiss chard in it and all that crap. Big, giant bunches. That makes it green. Plus organic quinoa. 1 cup thing that makes 3 cups of quinoa. Some spices, some organic red pepper hummus, organic sour cream, olive oil organic, some Sasha Inchi oil, Himalayan crystal salt, crushed red pepper. I didn't put my usual every spice I have in the cabinet, just about except for cinnamon or allspice. But anyway, I only put limited spices, crushed red pepper, salt, of course, and crushed onion and garlic powder. That's it. Not bad. And just so you know, as I'm eating this slop, would I be rather chowing down on a cheeseburger with lettuce and tomato and mayonnaise, or Chinese food, or Mexican food, or anything you could think of? Yes. My mom said, oh, I had a delicious meal in the hospital yesterday. It was cheeseburger and something. Maybe she had French fries. I don't know. Of course I would rather be eating that. There's all sorts of things, and I'd rather be eating. But in the end, I am fueling my body, and I'm keeping my weight down, I weighed 161.4 this morning. At one point, not too long ago, I was all the way past 170. Had to have been, because I didn't weigh myself because I knew I'd gotten heavier, you know, significantly. If you compare it to the 153 pounds I was at one point with Joe's, then 171. But how I know that I was up to 171 is because the day after fasting I was 168. I'm like, oh fuck. If I'm 168 a day after fasting, I was all the way up to 171. That was when I had that binge weekend where I was drinking and eating everything under the sun, and you know. I took my beast for about a 35-minute walk. He did his second poo-poo. And then I took my roommate's beast for a 50-minute walk. Would have been a little shorter, but I had a light jacket on, and then I realized it was too warm. So I brought back, he went poo-poo, so I brought back the poo-poo and the jacket, and I didn't go in the house. And then, of course, the dog went again, so I had no bag. So I don't leave poo-poo ever when the dog, I don't leave poo-poo out. I think it's rude, and I don't do it, so I walked a little ways, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'll just have to go home and come back and get the poo-poo. I know where it is. But I found a newspaper on the way, a little bit down the road, so I turned around and went back for the poo-poo, so the walk wound up even longer. Good, solid 50-minute walk. And yeah, I'm exhausted. The dog, I have to be on my guard at all times. He pulls, he tries to go after cars, he tries to go after other dogs. I have to look in the yard, but I'm strong, fortunately. I kept control of him. I miss him too. Dumbass dog barks in the middle of the night, whatnot, but I miss him. I'm definitely gonna miss my roommate. I wrote him a letter, he didn't get it yet. I have my own copy. I left it down on the coffee table by his chair. Hey. I should have a salad sometime. Seriously, I ordered it off of INACCESSIBLE. I got, oh no, did I order it off of INACCESSIBLE or did I buy it at, I don't even know. I've had it now a while. I buy it at Stop and Shop when I was still living with my mom, or did I order it? I don't know. I may have ordered it off of INACCESSIBLE. You get a lot of shit off of INACCESSIBLE. I think I did order off of INACCESSIBLE. Anyway, Bragg salad dressing that I learned about at Joe's, I used to have all the time. But he made awesome salads. He added apple cider vinegar in the Bragg salad dressing that actually has apple cider vinegar in it, I think. Yeah, it does. And it has Bragg olive oil in it, and then he'd add the olive oil. Sometimes he put hemp seed on it. I liked his salads because they were saturated. When you're eating all organic and non-GMO, you can load up on oils and fats and whatnot, and I can attest to that because I went down to 153 pounds and I was eating all that. He cooked in coconut oil, cooked us eggs and coconut oil and all this stuff, and I lost weight, and he saturated his salads. That's how he likes them. And I'm like, oh, no wonder I like this. And I had raw onion and garlic, but it didn't matter because I normally wouldn't want that, but it's so saturated in the organic salad dressing and the olive oil and the apple cider vinegar and all the stuff that you can't, it didn't, you know, it wasn't like this strong taste that would offend me or whatnot. And it took a long time to make them. But how he looked at it, he's like, well, you know, if I was going out, you know, he'd have to spend the money to go out, and he'd have to drive somewhere, and yada yada yada, and then wait for his dinner and whatnot. Plus, it'd be all the expense. But so even if it takes him 45 minutes to make the salad, you know, he's like, so what? Anyway, I'll change the names, but I'll tell you what. Make sure it doesn't say anything real personal. I don't think it does. I'm going to read this that I gave to him. Actually, I don't know. I think I learned this last time. You might be able to see the damn words behind there. That's really paranoid already. Here we go. Dear Sam, I started off with this, you know, if you need to get rid of the washer and dryer as soon as possible because you need that extra money per month, feel free to do whatever you need to do. Because that was one of the things that was indicating to me that I'm like, why are you getting rid of the washer and dryer next week? It's highly unlikely that I'm going to be able to get out of here. But it made me think that he was definitely going to, like, you know, thinking that I could definitely be out of here in 2 weeks, and I can't. I might be able to, but it's highly unlikely. It's just too hard. I'm disabled. That's a stigma. You know, I'm not working. It's a stigma. And I have an Omar, you know. I'm sorry, but when you go out to look for apartments, your roommates, whatever, most of them, the majority, say no pets, no pets, no pets. That's just reality, okay? Anyway, dear Sam, if you need to get rid of the washer, dryer, ASAP because you need that extra money per month, feel free to do whatever you need to do. Because when I asked him why he was doing that, he's like, well, I just thought I would save myself some money because it's coming up due. He rents them, okay? He got them when I first moved in, which is really nice, because it kind of sucks when you have to go and when you don't have a car and you have to go do laundry. But anyway, because you need the extra money per month, feel free to do whatever you need to do. And I do feel this way, you know, he's not under any obligation to me. He doesn't have to have a washer and dryer here, and if he needs that extra money, then get rid of them. I'll figure something out. You were never required to have a washer dryer here in the first place, so you certainly aren't required to continue having those appliances here solely for my convenience, you know. I'm sure that you can do your laundry at your girlfriend's, and if need be, I'll simply take a bus to a local laundromat to wash my clothes. I also wanted to let you know, I wrote this morning, you know, before I wrote it this morning. I wrote it before I talked to him, that he talked to the landlord, and it's okay. It's not about that, but I also wanted to let you know that I don't expect you to return the $300 security deposit that I paid to you when I first moved in on February 8th, 2014, and gave you money orders for a total of $1,500, 2 months' rent plus a $300 security deposit. That $300 paid for 5 months' worth of home phone usage and the installation of the home phone. That was another thing he did for me, because I said, please, I'm like, I'll pay for it, you know. And and I'd asked him if he had a phone, you know, but whatever. He didn't have a home phone, and I don't want to use cell phones because I sometimes talk to Joe for hours, and I don't particularly care for cell phones, okay? And there are people that believe that they're really bad for you. Joe's one of those people, and, you know, whether they are or not, if that's how I feel, then I want to have a home phone, you know. Plus, I like having a home phone in case of an emergency. You know, your cell phone, you might forget to charge. I just like having a home phone, period. I don't like cell phones, don't trust them, and anyway. And he did it immediately. Got this damn phone set up for me. And had I stayed here and the $300 worth of phone, I don't even know if he remembers me saying that or if he would have, whatever, you know. But in any case, that's $300 paid for 5 months worth of home phone usage and the installation of the home phone. Plus your yellow sheets at home are ripped up. They weren't good yellow sheets. They were old, but still, he ripped them up and they weren't mine. They were his. But I had planned to replace them if I stayed. But plus whatever equals you drove to insert name of where my mom lived and I lived and picked up me and all my crap without first meeting me, Sam. And I know that there's hardly anybody on this planet that would have done something like that. I know that for sure. Especially under the circumstances where I was emailing him and talking to him on the phone and telling him about marrying and my situation, how I had to get out of here, and you know, and whatever. Most people would have, you know, the warning alarm would have went off in their head. Cuckoo, cuckoo, I don't want her as a roommate. I'm not going to go get her without even meeting her first, get her and her dog and all her crap, you know. But he did it. He did it. Drove down there, did it. Okay, so you drove to X town and picked up me and all my crap. Well, I should have said Omar too, but anyway. Picked up me and all my crap without first meeting me, Sam. And I know that there is hardly anybody on this planet that would have done something like that, because I could never repay you for that initial kindness, acceptance you showed towards me, or for all the subsequent acts of kindness you showed towards me with your willingness to drive me to any store I needed to go to, or do anything I asked you to do for me, like set up my computer desk, or put up my curtain rods, or I could say other stuff, set up my computer, set up my printer, you know, the blinds, the you know, the blackout blinds, all this crap he did for me. I put this in bold. I never felt like you resented driving me anywhere, in capitals, or helping me out with the various small tasks I needed help with. Sam, and your unwavering, jovial, laid-back attitude towards me, even when I was, quote, bugging, quote, unquote, you were bawling like a baby right in front of you. Yeah, I told you I definitely did that a handful of times when I was he was taking me to the store or whatnot, and I just, you know, was all upset about my mom, or had found out bad news and didn't know where she was, or yada yada, whatever, you know, when she was getting really bad again, and or bawling like a baby right in front of you, showed me exactly what a big heart you had. Parenthesis, something your good friend Allison had wholeheartedly let me know up front so that I wouldn't bear moving in with you. I was obviously apprehensive as hell about moving in with a guy, especially having him drive there when I had never even met him first or seen his place or anything. It didn't matter. He was willing to come get me so I wouldn't have to, you know, come face to face with Marion, and that's all that mattered to me. Nothing else. I didn't know what this place looked like, didn't care, did not care. I didn't know if there was bed, didn't know anything. I would have slept on the floor, I would have slept on the couch, didn't matter. All that mattered is he got me so I did not have to come face to face with Marion and hear her, what is this place doing this shitty? Why didn't you clean this up? And yet I don't want to hear you fucking bitch, get away from me. Okay? Just went through 8 days of hell where you're gallivanting on yet another vacation with your husband. Alright. When you and I part ways at the end of June or sooner, I intend to give you a big warm hug, capital letters, because I genuinely care about you. I'm happy for you that you found X, insert the name of his girlfriend, equals she seems like a wonderful person with whom you have a lot in common, and I wish both you and ex-girlfriend, and my good friend Bones, of course, in parentheses, nothing but the best, capital letters, in life. So take care of yourself, Sam, and know that I truly will never forget you. Oh, that's nice, hon. I mean every word of it. I certainly don't have any ulterior motives giving it, you know what I mean? I mean, it's not like I really need anything much from him again. I mean, I might have to go to the store. Probably have to go to the store again. I don't know. When I don't know, I might find the most wonderful, place to live and be out of here, so it might not be the wisest thing, to make my giant thing of soup again. I might, but I still want to buy vegetables. I probably won't make the soup and freeze it, but, I can do my quinoa and vegetables, something different. Maybe make a salad and use some of that dressing, Especially with the warm months. I might not feel like having the soup when it's hot, I don't have to have the soup, but I probably will have to have taken it. Bottom line is, I meant every word of that. I've told him, even when I first moved in, I told him how much I appreciated the fact that he will drive me anywhere I ask him to drive me to, which I don't take advantage. It's just to the grocery store, to Target, or to Walmart, or, you know what I mean, or stuff like that I need, but how much of a pain would it be if I had to take a bus, to do all this crap, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. I just lucked out with him. Who's to say I would have got a roommate like that who's going to be willing to drive me to the store, and we got that computer desk. I got it really cheap. How much should I get that computer desk for? I think that the chair is more expensive. The computer desk, I think, was like $60 or something. But that's because it took him hours to put it together, over 2 hours. He did it for me. The desk and the chair. And I'll take them to my new place. Which means I'll have to get a truck, of course. I can't drive, so I'll have to hire someone to move my stuff. There's lots of people on Craigslist that move your stuff, and they don't even charge that much, all things considered. Yeah, bird outside the window. He spent hours putting that desk and chair together. You know what I mean? You can get them cheap because you have to put them together yourself. But I certainly couldn't do it. He drove me anywhere I asked him to, and he did it without. And I'm really, really sensitive, so I know, I can tell if somebody resents me. I never felt like he resented me for anything, that he was happy to help me out. And he's just a good guy. I wish him the best. I hope it works out between him and his girlfriend. I don't think it's good when something is forced, you know what I mean? Like, he's leaving here, so now it's good that it's better that when it's not, when it's your choice, and it's not when you have no other options, I don't think that's good, so hopefully if he moves in with his girlfriend, it is what he really wants to do and not what he feels pressured to do, simply because it's just easier than, and cheaper than going to find a place on your own, and he can have Matt. And forgot to check this like I usually do to make sure it's not cutting off the top of my head, but that's alright. I'll fucking keep it. I hope I get a good roommate again. But he was just above and beyond, you know. I really can't count on that. So, you know, I simply lucked out, and it just wasn't meant to last very long. You know? Sucks. It sucks. Sucks. You guys have to remember that I've never done this before in this way. Think about it. Okay, so I was a teenager, and then I went to college, and I had roommates, okay? And just as an aside, that's why I just know there's no guarantees, because my freshman roommate, there couldn't have been more understanding or compassion or empathetic